This is the third in a series of videos about the drop thumb technique in clawhammer banjo. I created these videos with the intent of helping beginning clawhammer players get started with the drop thumb technique and apply it in their playing. In the first video, I showed an approach to getting started with drop thumb, and I introduced the basic 1-2-1-5 roll pattern, which is named after the strings that you play in a 4-note sequence. In the second video, I showed a variation on the basic 1-2-1-5 pattern, which I called the 1-2-3-5 pattern. And today I'm going to show yet another variation, something I've called inverse drop thumb. This is not something new. This is not something I created. This goes back in tradition. It was used by many source players. You hear it all over the place. People use it all the time. There just wasn't a name for it. I don't know if anybody else calls it anything. I just started calling it inverse drop thumb. Well, let's get started. Let's review the basic roll pattern here, the 1-2-1-5 pattern, where on the first offbeat, our thumb drops to the second string, and that's our basic drop thumb. So the whole 1-2-1-5 pattern is finger strikes the first string on the beat, followed by the thumb dropping to the second string on the offbeat, followed by the finger again striking the first string on a beat, followed by the thumb now just playing the offbeat on the fifth string. So 1-2-1-5, or we could call this drop thumb ditty. In inverse drop thumb, our finger stays in place. That doesn't change. What we're going to do is let our thumb invert the notes that it plays. So rather than playing 1-2-1-5, we're going to play 1-5-1-2. Or instead of drop thumb ditty, we're going to play ditty drop thumb, if you want to call it that. It's a subtle change, but it adds some interesting rhythmic spice to your playing, as we'll see when we do the little demo. So let me just run through this real quickly here before we get to the tune we're going to use. Here's the regular drop thumb pattern of 1-2-1-5. 1-2-1-5, 1-2-1-5, drop thumb ditty, drop thumb ditty. Okay, here's inverse drop thumb. 1-5-1-2-1-5-1-2, ditty, drop thumb, ditty, drop thumb. So not hugely different, but subtly different. Lastly, let's apply this pattern, and I'd like to use the fiddle tune Ebenezer, at least the first 4 bars of the A part, and here's the tab for those bars. By the way, this is in the key of G, played in the standard G tuning. And if you look, each of the first 3 bars has the familiar 1-2-1-5 drop thumb pattern. Let me play that to demonstrate how it sounds. Do it again. Now let's apply our inverse drop thumb. We're going to switch those thumb notes around, and it's going to come out like this. One more time. Again, subtle difference, but interesting little rhythmic spice that it throws in there. So this is not a huge thing. This is actually a simpler thing than the 1-2-3-5 pattern. You can sprinkle this in all over the place in many different tunes. Anyway, there you have it, inverted drop thumb pattern. It's a simple twist on the basic 1-2-1-5 roll, and you can swap it out for the basic roll pattern in many places. Play around with it, listen for it in other people's playing, and see where you can insert it into your playing. Maybe you have a tabbed version of something. Take a look at it. See if you can put some inverse drop thumb in there and see if you like the sound. There we have it. Keep on picking.